Have you ever experienced the stirring in your very being? A soft utterance, a fleeting realization that there is more to life than what we see on the surface. The voice of wisdom comes from the depths of your being. It is the very essence of who you are. Answers and guidance for your issues can be found in this sound. Some people think it's silly or unhelpful because it's just a passing fancy. Nonetheless, this is a genuine, truth-communicating voice within. Not some vague idea, it is the source of profound wisdom. Rather, it is the very center of our being, the pulsating rhythm of life. It is a resonance with the very fabric of existence that arises from the depths of our consciousness. In this modern, hectic world, it's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of irrelevant stimuli. Societal background noise, the soft whispers of our true selves, get lost amidst the constant din of other people's judgments and demands. We lose touch with our authentic selves and ignore the profound wisdom within. One must appreciate the value of one's inner voice if they are to grasp its essence. It is the compass that leads you through the maze of existence to your ultimate goal. Its wisdom exceeds the bounds of reason, allowing you to tap into the ocean of shared human experience. Your intuition is your soul speaking to you in its own language, illuminating the road to enlightenment. Awakening to the nuances of existence is a precondition of active inner listening. It requires disengagement from the noise around you and an openness to discover peace within you. The process starts with an intentional inward focus on the whispers of the soul. Put your thoughts to rest, for it is in silence that your true self can speak to you. You need to practice being present if you want to learn to tune into your inner voice. Being fully present in the moment allows you to pick up on the nuances of your inner realm. In the field of psychological insight, when you let go of time, you enter the timeless now. Here, the mind's voice communicates in a way that defies description. Symbols, synchronicities, and sudden intuitive flashes are its means of communication. The inner voice is not one that demands to be heard or forces its will on us, but rather one that gently guides us towards congruence with our core values. It may communicate with us through flashes of insight or a sense of inner harmony. The seeds of great change and the realization of our soul's true calling are contained in these whispers. An excellent starting point for entering this state of stillness via exercises that promote full body relaxation. Create a sacred space in your mind by letting go of stress and other mental distractions. You leave the noise of the outside world behind and enter a place where your inner voice can be heard more clearly. By establishing a firm footing in the here and now, you can broaden your perception beyond the narrow confines of your ego. As you focus on your breathing and physical sensations, the external world fades away and your inner voice becomes more audible. But it is not enough to just listen. You must also learn to separate the words of wisdom from the noise of delusion. The inner voice is honest and direct. It does not try to trick or manipulate, but rather to shed light and lead the way. Discern its whispers from the reverberations of anxiety, doubt, and social programming. Listen to the still, small voice of your intuition, your primal instinct, and let it guide your every move. Despite being real and present at all times, the inner voice is often misunderstood. The mind, fueled by its inherent rationality, has a tendency to triumph over the soft whispers of the wise. The second step in listening to this voice is to avoid relying too heavily on logic and reason when interpreting what we hear. Instead, we should make an effort to internalize it because it is more than just a reflection of the world around us or a byproduct of fleeting feelings. Instead, it is a representation of who we truly are and how we relate to our very core. We can't have what we really want until we listen to that still, small voice inside, shedding light on the way that corresponds with our deepest calling. It's possible to pick up on the inner voice with just the mind, but then its significance gets watered down and it's easy to misinterpret. When we approach it with genuine enthusiasm, we free ourselves to acquire an understanding that goes beyond our rational capacities. Here, in the realm of our inner knowing, the full significance of the voice's guidance becomes apparent. Because of its narrow focus and preconceived notions, the ego has a tendency to interpret the voice in accordance with its own wants, needs, and prejudices. The messages that come up are analyzed, categorized, and controlled, which can distort their true meaning. Understanding the inner voice's deep significance requires letting go of pride and coming to it with an attitude of submission. To truly commune with the voice, we must still the mind's constant chattering of the ego and enter a state of open presence. Our intuition guides us through difficult situations and helps us identify our personal preferences. It is symbolic of our spiritual selves and serves as a source of wisdom as we travel through life. In order to help us overcome difficulties and develop spiritually, our higher self sends us messages. Various factors make it so that many people never hear this voice. The constant chatter of our minds, full of worries and thoughts, can drown out our intuition. When it tries to convey something, it gets caught up in this vortex of ideas and often has trouble getting its message across. When we start to consider a major life change or a new path in life, which involves serious questions and difficult decisions, our higher self is trying to get our attention. There are times when our inner voice speaks to us clearly, unfiltered by our conscious thoughts. It appears to come from nowhere, like a pristine idea has been dropped into our heads. This wisdom comes from within, not from study or experience. It is the purest form of communication with our spiritual core. In fact, the most accomplished creators in any field have figured out how to channel their superior selves into their work. The field of artistic production spontaneity supremely rules. Think of the great artists who, when faced with a blank canvas, must create something new out of nothing. They let themselves be led by their higher selves' whispers in the silence of the moment as they paint. Artists who live in the present moment and draw inspiration from their own divine nature are able to produce works of great beauty. Moreover, the information conveyed by our inner voice has a further distinguishing feature. Only in the here and now can we receive them. Neither do they originate in foresights into the future, nor do they come from the echoes of the past. The voice within only communicates with us in the here and now, but it does so with profound wisdom and direction for our current situation. If you want to learn to hear this voice, you have to train your mind to pay attention and stay in the here and now, where all of life's possibilities are happening. Your intuition is a compass that helps you navigate the challenges of this physical world so that you can accomplish your goals with as little difficulty as possible. Deep insights into one's own identity and future trajectory are also provided by this. It's also linked to your enlightened self, the part of you that has a direct line to the divine and an expansive understanding of who you are and the universe. Consequently, whenever you get a message from your inner voice, please give it some serious thought. One must learn to be silent in order to hear their own inner voice. It is in the stillness of silence that one finds the answers to life's most perplexing questions. Clarity of thought is amplified in the midst of profound silence, providing us with revelations and insights that go beyond our reason. This place is holy because it contains all the answers we've been looking for. Find a quiet place to sit and allow yourself to be swept up in the transformative embrace of silence. Lay back on your bed and forget about the things you need to do or the stress you've been under. Just give in to the silence and let it swallow you whole. You will find peace and the solutions you need in this quiet haven. First, take 3 slow, deep breaths, inhaling to fill your stomach, exhaling to expand your chest. When you feel you have taken a sufficient number of breaths, close your eyes and bring your attention to the here and now. Revel in the knowledge that you are consciousness itself, feeling the thrill of perceiving and reacting to the world around you. Stay in this mindful state for about 2 minutes to fully absorb what's happening. Then, direct your attention to your end goal. This may take the form of a question, and it often helps to pose your inquiry with the word why. Consider querying such concerns as, why do I feel this way? Or why am I having this problem? Ask a direct question and then sit in silence, focusing on your breathing. You shouldn't try to force an answer, but rather give yourself time to think about it and see what comes to mind. The answer will present itself soon, maybe in the form of a picture, a phrase, or a word. Pay close attention as this flash of insight appears and then disappears. If the response you got was satisfactory, you should look into it further. Don't be afraid to give it another shot if you get a response that doesn't sit right with you or makes you feel uncomfortable. It's crucial to give nature a chance to take its course. When you establish contact with this facet of yourself, you'll feel a wave of relief and freedom, and you'll be able to begin putting the pieces of the solution together. Remember to show appreciation once you finish the exercise. Doing so will make it easier to hear your inner voice in the future. Use this strategy anytime you need an answer. You will be awed by the wealth of wisdom waiting to be discovered in silence, and ponder the boundless potential it holds.